This is part 2 of the 3-part series. The link to the first video will be in the description below. Hello, and welcome back to We Happy Few Without Weapons or Clothing. I'm sorry it took me a while to get this video out. I was lazy, and on top of that, Sally's campaign is much harder than Arthur's. And the reason for that being, Sally is the friendly neighborhood drug dealer that everybody loves, except now nobody will like her. We start off on a very low note. This guy's trying to break down the door, and he succeeds and finds out something shocking. Now this is where Sally's campaign differs massively from Arthur's. She actually has to juggle a baby on top of all the other shit that's going on. Also, just to add to that, Sally isn't a fighter. She takes a lot more damage from any source and deals a lot less damage. Now after the 10-minute tutorial of cleaning the house and taking care of your baby, it's finally time to run out in the streets naked. I actually got really lucky on this first trip because nobody got angry at me and I was able to talk to the shopkeeper really early. Sad thing is that this is one of the 80 billion trips to this guy that I have to take during this whole campaign. This is also around the time I learned the hard way that Sally has less than half of Arthur's stamina and is much slower than him, so this is going to be a tough one. After a lot of back and forth and preparing for later, I used a lockpick to open a door to get something that's completely useless to me, a gas mask. And now we get to the Garden District. I spent a lot of time out here gathering plants because I thought I needed to heal a lot more often than Arthur. I had to break into a couple people's houses to get some records for the shopkeeper because he was doing me a favor. And while I was over here, I thought, why not activate the fast travel point? I had to go back because I forgot I had to get 2 records, and wasted a lot of my time trying to get money, and I got my ass beaten. Then I genuinely forgot something. I forgot I have a child to take care of. It genuinely took me a while to get back to my house because of how slow Sally is, and on top of that, everyone trying to kill you. I was worried for a second, thinking that they'll find my baby if I hide in my house, but apparently they didn't bother to program that. After tending to my child, it was time to get back to work. The Bobbies are all high on Sally's drugs, and it's up to us to make the Blackberry Joy. Came home to my house on fire. That's always nice. Then it was off to go to my old home. Some sad backstory happened or whatever, but the real sad thing is that I used all my lockpicks. This has never happened to me in this game before. So off I searched for lockpicks, and you know what? For it being a common item, I could not find it for 30 fucking minutes. That was a lie. I did in fact find some, it's just that I used it on the chest next to me immediately. How funny. After 5 minutes of searching, I came back and I was like, oh, I might have had something by now. And then I realized I'm stupid. I never found any bobby pins after that point. I was out here searching for such a long time that it cycled to nighttime, and I found a cult of people that loved flowers? I don't know. There was some good news, though. I found a vendor out here that couldn't be aggroed to me, so I bought everything I could from him. While searching and doing a side mission, I got taunted from an inventory expansion kit, and yes, I still haven't found a fucking lockpick yet. But it was all worth it. After a lot of hardship and fighting a lot of people unnecessarily, I found some lockpicks on some guy's body. I kept on fighting these people, and for some weird reason, they were all puking while I was fighting them, so that was pretty disgusting. Also, while I was here, for some reason, the people at the top level started killing each other. After a miserable 20 minutes, I was actually able to take them all down, and I got an ingredient to increase my max health. Of course, the ingredients were tough to get, and I only used it once, but it was still helpful. And after all that time, I can finally progress the story. I nearly died trying to protect myself in front of my own house, so I decided to be a pussy and just waited out in the shower again. I fed Gwen and told him to prepare to become the final boss of Dark Souls 1. And now it's time to find the 4 components to make Blackberry Joy. I wanted to include this into the video. I had a horrible day and decided to start recording this again. I died like 6 minutes in, and then I just left for another 4 weeks. Apparently the army was okay with seeing the general's daughter completely butt naked going through the base, and I found some goodies while I was over here. I got completely lost. I did not know where I was going and thought I had to talk to my dad. I finally remembered to update my quests after 10 minutes of running around, and I have to visit the chemist. Bad thing is that the track access hatch is in front of a bunch of police, and I can't talk to her unless I'm out of combat. I tried a couple of strategies here, like running back to the hatch, and I was genuinely getting pissed off. In the end, I decided I was going to man the fuck up and beat the shit out of anybody in my path to talk to her. This seemed like my only option here, and things were looking grim. There was just so many of them, and they just kept coming, but I had to do this. I literally couldn't find any other way. I couldn't hide. They just all butchered me. I finally decided to use the blue Molotov because I never used it before, and this was the best / worst decision I have ever made in this game. And why, you might ask? Because it insta-killed basically everyone except for one guy that glitched out. I did not want to have to do this again. I was waiting here for 2 minutes, and he just wouldn't de-aggro because his burning script was overriding his de-aggro script. The best part was, he isn't on fire. While I was trying to kill him, I completely forgot the whole reason why I was trying to kill him was so I didn't have to fight everyone all over again, and ran into a whole crowd of fucking bobbies. But there was some good news. I was able to lock the door and hide. The bad news was, the guy that was burning is still alive. I tried for a little bit and ultimately decided that this wasn't worth my time because I just kept on running back in and hiding when I could just do this over again. The very next attempt I was lucky with the spawns and I was able to lock the door and hide. I really should have just been more patient. Next it was time to knock on Harry's door, and surprise surprise, I can't knock on the door while in combat and there's 1,000 people in the streets. I broke into somebody's house and waited out their aggro in the window, and I was getting a little pissed off over how many were just in that area. I was waiting out here for so long, in fact, it became nighttime. To make it even worse, the AI would randomly turn around for no fucking reason, making the stealth completely worthless. I was getting so impatient, in fact, that I just started killing the last few bobbies that were in front of the door. The door even glitched out. It said I was in combat, there was nobody around, and I was mashing the E key. I just wanted this to be done. It did fix itself after a bit, though. Now I gotta steal this guy's bag back from a couple of doctors, and I thought this part was really scary on my first playthrough because all of the doctors have chainsaws. It went pretty smoothly, and I was able to take one out that for some reason wasn't aggroed to me. Now we got to knock on his door again. This time it actually went okay. It's now time to head over to Rat Home. I did go over and change Gwyn before I went, though. Now, I was very worried about Rat Home because the entire place is completely filled with poisonous gas. But even on hard difficulty, you barely even lose health here, which I kind of find funny. I was able to get a best med kit and the key card controls fairly easily, only managed to almost die 4 times. Just grabbed the toxic waste, and now I gotta talk to that chemist again. I got very lucky again and took down the head Bobby and hid from everyone else. I went on a massive shopping spree just so I can get as much money as I could, and on top of that get the bangers off of the shopkeeper. We meet some random guy in the alley, and we also see Arthur, but my dumbass fucking skipped the cutscene. We meet Grandpa again, alive and well, and we thank him for the bigger banger last playthrough by killing him. I also extracted some snot from his family that wanted him dead. It was time for me to do some quests for the witches. One of them including killing 4 people to get to a chest. And they were easily dealt with bangers, nothing else of note. Next we gotta collect some poison, which was a bit tricky because all of them were standing around it and they would just promptly beat me while I tried to grab it, so I had to deal with them as well, and I dealt with them with bangers. Not before getting too cocky and killing myself with one. I didn't feel like waiting for the shopkeeper to make the carry cot, so I just slept for 48 hours like any normal human being does. I grabbed that along with the baby feeder that I completely forgot about, and I made as much flash as I could possibly carry. Next was to go on another search just for honey, and this one took just as long as finding the lockpicks. Couldn't find the footage where I found the honey because I was mashing X on every cupboard in the entire area. Now it was time to break into a mansion and save a bunch of people that I killed 15 minutes ago. When I saved them all, I decided why not try to beat the shit out of the guy that was trying to kill them all. This took a minute and I almost died 3 times, but I actually was able to take him down. I was really starting to get annoyed just running back and forth to locations for each mission. Next was the ruins, and I went to the vendor and spent every last penny I had on me on flash and healing items. And to catch some butterflies, I don't know, and I had to deal with a lot of plague wastrels down there. Now we can finally craft the Blackberry Joy. The Bobbies rewarded me with a song and dance for supplying them with heroin, and get back home with the delightful news that my child has measles. I had to ask Arthur to get me the cod liver oil in exchange for his letter of transit, and all I had to do was literally walk in, walk out. It was that easy. I forgot to mention, after I went to Rat Home, I had a permanent glitch on my save file where randomly Sally would act like that she got stabbed when nothing happened. I went back to visit the boathouse because I legitimately forgot to visit it before I left, and I was able to activate the hatch next to the boathouse, so that was nice. I got legitimately spooked at one point while running around, and I locked myself in a bathroom at a bar, and I had to run all the way back to the fucking witch's hut so I can talk to this guy that was apparently a captain. Huh, he actually does look like a captain. Although it wasn't worth the 7-minute fucking run over here, but you know, he looked like a captain. The witches were, for some reason, not here, but there were these weirdos that were holding Ed McMillan hostage, and I had to take care of them. And holy shit, for the first time in my life, I actually caught the plague in this game. Which was easily cured, and I think that's pretty stupid. Arthur got me the cod liver oil, and I got him the letter of transit, and it was off to save my child. After all that nonsense, it was time to talk to Faraday, that for some reason is in Maidenholm, in Sally's campaign. I don't know why they changed that. Had to steal some record from some famous guy. Some assholes tried to kill me outside of that guy's house, but I just dealt with them with bangers because I had way too many on me. Next, it was time to break into General Bing's office to grab the boat keys to get out of here with Gwen. Funny story, I thought that General Bing was Sally's dad when General Bing was just lusting over Sally, so that was stupid of me. After we search his desk, we get knocked out and we get all of our shit taken away from us. This leads us to a boss fight where we just gotta run back and forth and charge some energy cores and then just push them into the fountain and knock them out. After we run all the way back home, we get to put Gwen in the carry cot and run all the way to the boathouse. This part I was dreading because you're completely naked and you have a baby on you, meaning that you can't defend yourself. I pumped myself full of every drug that I had on me, so I was easily able to get to the boathouse. And I beat Sally's campaign in We Happy Few without any weapons or clothing. I gotta tell you that running back and forth between missions in Sally's campaign really was starting to wear on me. I was not having fun at all. But if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the last part where I try to take out Ollie's campaign.